Hi there and welcome to this very important video. So I wanted to make a new video to discuss some easy steps to help you get started on relieving Piriformis syndrome. I have made so many videos on Piriformis syndrome on this channel, and it all started because of my own history with this very annoying, frustrating condition. I have come a long way and I wanted to share some steps that kind of condensed steps that will help you get relief, but most importantly, long-term relief so that you're not constantly experiencing this pain all your life. Piriformis syndrome is so frustrating. It's just that pain that is felt kind of on the outer side of the glute, but it is felt deeply there. So when I experienced it, I felt it would feel like a deep burning sensation, and then it would become, it would just take over my hip, and it's like my whole hip is spasming and I can't walk. I also experienced sciatica because I also had a disc herniation, but piriformis pain can also trigger sciatica. Yeah, it's just a pain that felt here. It can also go down to the upper hamstring area, and once you start to experience it, it's just unlike anything else because it's really frustrating. It doesn't want to go away, and it feels like all the right things you're doing, they're just not working. Like you're told to stretch or do this or do that, and then you do those things, and in my situation they made the pain worse. I have to say that when you are experiencing this pain, it feels like it may never get better because it's so bad that it feels like, how can you resume to feeling pain-free, to walking normally, to jumping? Those things just starts to feel impossible. So I just want to say that I totally understand this pain, and I totally understand how you are feeling right now. If you're watching this video and maybe thinking, well, you know, I've already tried so many things, I don't know if there is anything there to help. So the first thing that I want to say is that yes, you can get better. And in my belief that anybody with this pain can totally get better, just because of my own experience and how I thought I would never, you know, resolve it. And so I do think that it is possible for your body to get better. And so in this video, I just want to share, I just want to condense and just give like the things that work. There are so many things that worked, but I just want to say like the main fundamental things that have actually made a difference in my healing. And hopefully with using this information, you can act on it and maybe do more research on it, you know, because it's really tough to say everything in one video, but I will just give you all of the tidbits and all of the important things, and then you can definitely go. I will provide some more resources for you if you want to go deeper into these things. Okay, so number one, look into how much you've been stretching since you have been either diagnosed or self-diagnosed with Piriformis syndrome. And because I say this because when I was first diagnosed with it, for the first few years, I focused so much on stretching. And I think that not only made my recovery, like it slowed down my recovery, but I think it actually contributed to the pain getting worse and me just making everything worse. But the thing is that most people with Piriformis syndrome tend to stretch a lot. They tend to do so much yoga, lots of lengthening to help relieve the pain, because when we're stretching, it feels good and you get that relief and it just feels nice. You know, you get that short-term relief when all day you're in pain, and so you're just kind of, you're looking forward to getting on the floor or just taking that break and stretching. So I totally get that. And I fell into that trap, but I want to say that please look into how much you've been stretching, because if you're stretching for like 15, half an hour, maybe twice a day, every day, that could actually be too much. And especially if you are focusing on the piriformis muscle. So there are many stretches for the piriformis, but the issue is when you do so many of them. So it's not that the stretches are bad, but when you're doing so many of them, every day, and then you're not doing any exercises to strengthen, then what that does is that it lengthens these hip muscles more, you lose more stability in your hips, and that can cause more compensation and more pain later on. I also highly recommend that you grab the free Piriformis Syndrome rehab plan. It's free. It's got some great exercises to get you started on strengthening. And I also have included a tutorial video there as well. It's free, so the link is below the video to download it. I want to share just a quick stretch here. You can just do this stretch. If you want to do it once a day, that's fine. But you can do this stretch for between 20 to 30 seconds, and then that can be enough. That only if the piriformis muscle actually needs to be stretched. So I've shared a test before on how to find out if the piriformis is tight that needs to be stretched, or it's actually weak and needs to be strengthened. These are things that were not shared with me early in my journey, and I just didn't know about them. So I'm hoping that by giving you all these tools and information that you are more aware of these things, and you can make better decisions in terms of how much you're stretching and how much you're exercising. Hold every stretch between 10 to 20 seconds. You don't want to be doing very long, like static stretches. For example, when you're doing yoga, you may be holding a stretch for a few minutes, like 5 to 10 minutes in different poses, targeting the same muscle. So that can definitely be too much. The second step is to look at your posture from head to toe. So when it comes to Piriformis syndrome, how I look at it is that it's just kind of your body giving you these messages, these signals. And in so many cases, the issue is not coming from the piriformis muscle itself. So I have learned that you have to assess everything. You have to assess your feet, if you've got that pronation, if there's any issues at the ankle level, it can affect your knee and it can affect your hip. So the piriformis may be spasming and acting up because of an issue at the knees or the ankles. So, and then we're just focusing on the piriformis, and then we keep experiencing pain because we haven't addressed imbalances at the ankle and the knees. So look at your posture from your head to toe. Notice if there is any issues at the ankles, the knees, the hips, if there is any excessive anterior tilts, if you've got the opposite, you've got that posterior tilt, but there's just no arch no neutral arch, if there's any weaknesses in your core. If you are addressing these issues, the piriformis muscle will naturally relax. So you don't have to spend so much on just the piriformis muscle itself. So look at your posture. It's so eye-opening sometimes to just record yourself standing on the side, on the back, looking at your posture, and also maybe moving as well to see how you're walking. A lot of times if you're moving and then your hips are kind of dropping to each side as you move, that can indicate imbalances at the hips and that the glute medius may need to be more needs to be strengthened. So there are some great exercises you can do every day to address those things. And this allows you to also take action every day. So as you're walking, you can correct your posture, how you're walking. And I've also shared the 3-step posture resets in a different video where, you can just kind of quickly reset your posture and help relieve tension in your hips and lower back. So posture is so important, and the posture also plays into your movement. So movement posture and static posture when you're sitting and standing. So look into these things. It's really important to have an overview or a general assessment on what is causing this pain. Why are my hips acting up? So it's not a very isolated problem as we may think it is. And the third step is to focus more on strengthening the hip stabilizers. So the goal is to have the piriformis muscle not be overworked and overactive. We want every muscle to do its job properly and engage when it should. And when something is missing, then you've got these small stabilizers acting up, compensating for the other ones. So when you are focusing on doing glute medius strengthening, glute max strengthening, working on your core, you are going almost like helping the piriformis in a way. So that can take the load off of those other muscles. It can also take the load off your hip joints and your lumbar spine. doing these things all combined will lead to relief. And you just want to be consistent with them. At least work on these things for 2-3 weeks, because when you're experiencing pain for so long, it can take some time for your body to desensitize from those things. So just please keep that in mind. It's not going to just disappear in 24 hours. Just stay consistent. You're going to notice a decrease in pain. Or the other thing also is a decrease in the number of flare-ups you're experiencing. So if you have a flare-up every month, it may become once every 3 months, and then it will keep going down. So these are the things that I have experienced for myself. I want to add just some quick extra things that I have done that have contributed to my relief and healing. So these are just additional things you can look into or add as well. So anti-inflammatory nutrition has helped me definitely just kind of feeling better and reducing inflammation, because I was experiencing lots of chronic inflammation in my hips, and switching to an anti-inflammatory diet, or just including more anti-inflammatory foods, has definitely helped me overall, especially when I'm experiencing so much pain. I would usually eat more foods with anti-inflammatory properties and just reduce starches and things that could increase inflammation. And the second thing is not to ignore the mindset part of healing. So when you are in so much pain for so long, it can really take a toll on you, and you may start to lose your belief that you can get better. So things like visualization, meditations, deep breathing helps the nervous system to relax. And when your nervous system is relaxed, it also impacts your muscular system. So working with your nervous system and doing some visualizations is going to help you build a strong healing mindset, and it's going to recondition your body to feeling pain-free again. I've shared lots of techniques and resources in my Mind Body Healing System program, but just if you want to look more into these things, I'll leave the link below. It was just an area that is usually ignored, and it's really helped me in my healing journey. So I do want to include it in this video because I do think it's very important. So if you found this video helpful and you want to get started with these tips, highly recommend that you join the Performance Control program, because I demonstrate everything there on how to do assessments, on how to control flare-ups, and of course how to fix these imbalances that I've been talking about in this video. So it's like taking you by the hand and showing you step by step how to do all of these things. So I hope that you're gonna join the program and get started, because the sooner you start, the earlier you can get relief and learn these things and just use them to stay pain-free for life if you are consistent, and hopefully that you are able to resume doing everything you've been doing before and enjoying your life. And when you're armed with all of the knowledge and you know how to take care of something, it's just different than being confused and overwhelmed and not knowing what's causing your pain. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and lots of resources are below this video as well if you want to look more into them.